So, this morning, if you've been living under a rock for the past 8 hours or so, or decided to just say screw it to social media, we just got announced from Nintendo, or Nintendo just announced that they're introducing a new Switch to the Nintendo family. Now, before we jump in, I just want to say pretty much what I think about this Nintendo Switch model. If you already have a Switch, this isn't necessarily something you need to buy for now, because I'm pretty sure you're going to find out later on that they didn't really change much of what we needed on the Switch, which is processing power. So what do I think? If you don't care about the video you're watching, pretty much my opinion is don't buy this yet. I do think it has some positive attributes, but mostly if you're really trying to get a bang for your buck, you might want to wait till another updated model comes by. Now, Nintendo revealed a new OLED, which is a pretty funny way of saying a Switch model's name. Pretty much it just says it's just OLED. You couldn't think of a better name than that, but whatever. It's a new vibrant 7-inch OLED screen that makes colors pop. So, what is OLED? So, pretty much OLED is the screen of anything that uses OLED. It's made out of better material. It's pretty expensive to make, if I recall, because I'm pretty sure like OLED 4K TVs or OLED TVs they're pretty expensive compared to their 4K like companions. Um, but pretty much OLEDs are made out of have a crystalline pattern that makes colors more vibrant than regular LED 4K TVs. Now, OLED doesn't necessarily mean that we're getting 4K on the Switch, so don't really anticipate playing your games in 4K. But what I do recommend, if you don't have a 4K TV by now, it's time to go grab one. Because when you play this in docked mode and you have a 4K TV, shit looks a lot better. Doesn't necessarily mean it's gonna run better, but it just looks a lot better. 350. Thank God it's not $400, because if it was $400, there would be more of an outrage. I think people are still complaining that it is worth 350, but because of the added quote unquote features to this, it just, I guess it makes up for it. I mean, it's better than $400, if to be really honest with you. But for $400, I'm pretty sure you can get yourself a PS4 with that kind of stuff. Or am I just tripping? PS4. I don't think a PS5 right now is worth. A PS5 non-digital. Pretty sure. I mean, a digital one is worth like $400. So, I mean, now I would really recommend getting this if you do not have a Nintendo Switch. That's all I'm saying. If you are a first-time owner of a Switch, this would probably be the best model. And the funny thing is, it's also coming out on October 8th, which is the same date that Metroid Dread is announced to be released on this same date, which makes me believe that because of the color scheme, which I like the color scheme. I like blue. I like white and black, or gray or black, whatever this color is. It pretty much makes me believe that Metroid Dread and this is coming in a bundle for a holiday package or whatever. So, if you want to play Metroid Dread on the brand new Nintendo Switch model, then I guess this is worth it. But if you're a first time and you're looking for a Switch, this would probably be a good pickup. Now, what's in the new features? Well, obviously it says here, vibrant 7-inch screen. The Nintendo Switch, the base Nintendo Switch has a 6.2 inch, so the screen's a little bigger. But they pretty much means they just, instead of this black border that you see on your Switch, like that fat, it just got trimmed, which I guess it makes sense. I don't understand. I think they said it's also a lighter Nintendo Switch and it looks a little longer. I don't know if that's true or not. I think I heard it weighs less, so I guess my Switch doesn't weigh that much, but outdated hardware. Who cares? A wide adjustable stand. I like the stand thing. This should have been a day one feature. I don't understand why it was not day one, because a tiny ass stick stand wasn't really that great. But this looks a lot better. This should have been a day one feature. I don't know what Nintendo were thinking of putting a little stick as a stand. I mean, it worked, but sooner or later it's gonna break. A wired LAN port. This should have been another day one feature as well, because you know Nintendo Switch Online sucks, and you know a lot of competitive games like Smash, Mario Kart, Splatoon, all those games. If you're playing it on wireless or Wi-Fi, fucking sucks sometimes. So a lot of people wanted this to be a day one feature, and we finally get it. Pretty funny. 64 gigabytes of internal storage. That's actually, I believe, that doubles the amount of what the original Nintendo Switch had. Because I'm pretty sure the original Nintendo Switch has like what 32, I believe. So doubling up is not that bad, but a lot of games nowadays, like Breath of the Wild and Super Mario Odyssey, those games are like pretty heavy. I think like Breath of the Wild with the DLC is like, maybe I might be capping or whatever, but isn't it like at least like 9, 10 gigabytes? It's a pretty big game, so you gotta take that into consideration as well. That's why I always recommend buying um, a micro SD chip. You can get a 256 gigabytes of storage for like $60. It's not even that expensive. Um, So I guess that's okay. Obviously, pretty good, cool stuff. And then enhanced audio. Yeah, I mean the speakers aren't that bad on the Switch, but getting new ones looks pretty good. I guess the placement of the speakers matter because the speakers should be pointing towards you, not on the bottom. Um, three modes in one. What the hell? Oh yeah, so there's TV mode, which everyone wants to play this shit on. There's no reason for you to get a Nintendo Switch Lite because why the hell would you get that? Um, tabletop mode, of course, if you want to do that, and then handheld mode, which obviously that's duh. I like the Joy-Con colors. It looks pretty sick. That cookies and cream Oreo color always looks. I don't know, man. White. If this was black and then inverted white, that would have been crazy. That would have been effing crazy. Uh, multiplayer, more system features. Yeah, the funny thing about the trailer that came out with this, which I don't know if I want to put in the link. I don't. Or I'll put it in the description. I don't want to do that. But what's pretty funny is that they showed this Metroid Dread, which I probably can't see on the video because it's cut out. They showed Pokemon. So the three games that they showed on the new Nintendo Switch OLED model, it's pretty funny saying that, were Metroid Dread, Pokemon Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl, and Zelda Breath of the Wild 2, which is like that's a pretty interesting marketing scheme for Nintendo to use, because usually when something is coming out on like say a new hardware, they usually show old games like Mario Kart, Super Mario Odyssey, Breath of the Wild, or usually their go-to like, or even Splatoon as well. It's usually their go-to games to showcase what it looks like on this new model. But the funny thing that they showed all three of those unreleased games on the Nintendo Switch on this one in particular was pretty interesting scheme. So yeah, a lot of people are complaining about this because it has no 4K, which you know, it is what it is. I mean, OLED doesn't necessarily mean it's 4K. It just makes colors more vibrant, more popping than LED. Is it better than 4K? We don't know because obviously on TVs, OLED 4K is a freaking godlike, but I don't know about like a regular OLED. The other thing too is that the processing, the CPU, the GPU, the chips that matter the most have not been upgraded because I'm pretty sure I read somewhere in the, I guess I don't know if it's true or not because Nintendo hasn't really confirmed it, but they never really said anything about this, but they're using the same processors for this as for the regular Nintendo Switch, which I think that kind of sucks because a lot of games nowadays are very clunky, especially games that come from different consoles like Resident Evil or shooter games. A lot of shooter games are so freaking clunky. Even Mortal Kombat was so clunky on well, not clunky, it just didn't look very good. because of the limitations of the GPU, CPU, the chips that matter the most in Nintendo Switch. Um, if I wanted to compare this, I would kind of compare this to a Nintendo Lite, a Switch Lite. It's been released in the summer, in October, just almost like the Nintendo Switch Lite. They upgrade a couple stuff. There's no upgraded battery, which sucks. I don't know why they would want to do that. But other than that, is it really worth it? I don't know. I don't think it will be. If you already own a Switch, like I said, this probably you don't need it. But if you're looking for a Switch, try to pop that sucker on your TV for first time. This is probably going to be the best model for you to get. In the meantime, now what does this mean? It probably means that once Breath of the Wild 2 comes out, we might have a Switch, quote unquote, Pro. But this is the model that we're stuck with. 350 bucks. It's not that bad. It could have been 400, and it would have been a lot worse. But pretty interesting that they just dropped this out of nowhere and they said, here are the rumors. And the other interesting thing about this as well is that a lot of like the Bloomberg or other financial news papers, articles, whatever they call, they predicted literally everything right except for better processing, which they technically did not mention in their articles. So somebody Nintendo's leaking this information and someone's hitting it on the nail because they mentioned about an OLED screen, a bigger screen, they a better stand, a better LAN port, a built-in LAN port, which is pretty funny. They got all this right except for not mentioning processing power, which I guess it was too good to be true. Anyways, guys, what do you guys think about this? You all buying this or not? I personally don't think I'm buying this. I mean, it looks cool. If it's bundled with Metroid Dread, maybe I'll get one. But again, the scalping, man. We don't know whether the Switch is gonna go through another phase of being scalped everywhere like it happened during the pandemic, so we'll see. Anyways, guys, your boy Franklin signing out. Peace.